Have you ever wondered why your daily office routines feel so safe until the exact moment you lose control of your own patient records? You check the schedule, open the digital charts, and trust the same logins you have used for years. The routine feels familiar, verified, and completely harmless while you focus on patient care. Then a single screen pop-up freezes the entire system, leaving you unable to see a single name or file for the rest of the day. Suddenly, you cannot process payments or view medical histories. Your staff stands idle, and the phones keep ringing, creating a chaotic environment where you are forced to choose between patient safety and restoring your own digital access. The mistake is thinking your current routine is enough to keep your business running when things go wrong. That false sense of security is exactly what lets a small issue spiral into a full-scale shutdown. What actually matters is having a clear way to verify and protect those files, so one error does not stop you. I will show you how to notice these risks early and what to do first so you stay in control. You might walk into the clinic on a Tuesday morning to find your EHR completely encrypted and suddenly think to yourself, why would anyone go after a tiny practice like ours? And how am I supposed to treat patients if our systems are locked down? I'm Kevin, founder of Sentree Systems, and for the past 26 years, I've battled ransomware encryption to protect small medical practices. Think of your clinic network like a busy front office where you handle new arrivals every day. You expect every person who walks in to have a valid reason for being there. Just like data moving through your computers. Trouble starts when you let strangers bypass the front desk without checking their credentials or watching where they go. Many owners leave the back doors of their network propped open because they assume the main entrance is the only one that needs a lock. To keep the office safe, you must use the identity gate rule, which means you verify every single connection as if it is a complete stranger trying to get into your private files. By watching these digital introductions closely, you stop the imposter who relies on you being too busy to notice them wandering through your records. Medical practices are seeing a sharp rise in digital extortion, where criminals weaponize private patient records to demand massive payouts. Standard security tools frequently miss these threats because they are built to flag known issues rather than spotting unauthorized visitors moving quietly through your network. When these intruders manage to lock your primary systems, the fallout goes far beyond the immediate recovery costs. It stalls daily patient services and triggers long-term consequences that damage your reputation and professional trust. This creates a situation where one mistake or a single oversight can cripple your ability to function. The reality is that once your patient data is held for ransom, you are no longer in control of your own business. That loss of control is the true cost of an invisible entry. I walked into a silent office where the entire staff was staring at a single ransom demand, blinking on every terminal. It was the kind of quiet that feels heavy, the air thick with the realization that their work had just vanished. The owner was pacing, white-faced, having already tried to reboot the servers 5 times to no avail, his hands still trembling from the adrenaline of the failed recovery attempts. I logged into the primary server and found a clear trail of unauthorized remote logins stretching back 3 months. The system logs told the story in black and white. Someone had been moving through their files, mapping out their connections, and preparing the payload long before the screens went dark. The entire team went quiet when they realized the intruder had been watching their daily operations long before the final lockdown. We discovered that over a decade of patient history and billing files were encrypted and effectively held hostage. The audit proved the attacker had bypassed the front security gate by stealing a simple login that no one was monitoring. I told the owner the hard truth that they had been treating their network like a public lobby rather than a private medical vault. The room fell into a heavy, cold silence as they finally grasped that their own oversight had created the path for the breach. We spent 4 days manually scrubbing the network and rebuilding from clean backups while the office remained effectively closed for business. It was a grueling cycle of verification and restoration that left everyone exhausted. They never fully recovered the trust of the patients who were notified that their personal data had been compromised during the event, a scar that no amount of IT work could ever truly erase. I see this exact gap in security oversight across dental and medical practices every single year. It is a common, avoidable failure, but it thrives because people assume their existing tools are doing more than they actually are. The offices that avoid this disaster all use the identity gate rule to force verification on every single connection before it reaches their data. It is the only way to stop a stranger from walking through your front door. So, you want to stop the digital intruders before they cause real damage. You can shut down these risks by taking these 3 steps today. First, turn on multi-factor authentication for every single login that touches your patient data. This makes it much harder for someone to get in with a stolen password. Next, block all remote access connections that do not come from your specific office location. If someone tries to log in from across the globe, the system will just drop the connection. Finally, make sure you apply the identity gate rule by reviewing every active user account to verify that no old or unused logins are still active. These steps give you a clear way to see where you are exposed and help you make sure your team is less likely to make a costly mistake. That is how you keep a small problem from turning into a business-wide mess. If you could rethink one thing today, stop assuming your backup drive will save you, because ransomware encrypts those files long before you ever see the ransom note. Never assume your small medical practice is invisible to attackers. Lacking a structured ransomware response playbook is a guaranteed prescription for the total collapse of your operations. If you want to run a baseline security assessment on your own network or business assets to see where your defenses are vulnerable, click the link in the description below to execute our 10-minute cyber health audit. Let's protect your client files and your reputation before tomorrow morning.